Stay tuned now for Latin Rain with hosts Lorraine and Hector Lopez on 1460 WVOX.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? This is Latin Rain, and I am your host today with my alleged sister, Lorraine Lopez. And today we're going to be having a wonderful guest today. And the music you actually heard in the background was from Carlos Jimenez. He's a local musician. And if you hear his music, go on his Facebook. His name is Carlos Jimenez. He has a lot of that nice homegrown music. Listen to his tracks, and you will like his music. And many of you probably know him. He's done a lot of shows around town. So it's wonderful that he has allowed us to use his music for this show. And today we have my sister, Lorraine the Legend, and we come a long way. And this is something we wanted to do for a long time. If you know us, we grew up in the hood, so we know all the issues and everything that's going on. And we're going to be having guests that grew up and became someone. And all that is coming soon in different shows. And right now, let me send you to my sister, Lorraine La Legendaria.
Oh, my God, Hector. Hola, mi gente. How you doing? It's good to be here, Hector. It's good to be here. I'm really excited. I don't know how it's going to work out between me and you because, oh, my God, you're a nut. But I think we're going to highlight, Latino empowerment. We're going to highlight Latino leaders. We're going to highlight Latino issues. This is something that hasn't happened in over 30 years in WVOX. I want to thank WVOX for giving us the opportunity, Judy and everyone that worked with us to make it happen. I also, this is being brought to us by our sponsors. I just want to shout them out real quick. The Yonkers YMCA, Assemblyman Nader Sage, and the team of Quiñones, Heyer, and Berliner for Supreme Court Judge. I also want to just take a moment to shout out our brothers, Black Westchester, AJ Damon, and also Brother to Brother, Tri-State Jericho, and John Morrison, because they've done an excellent job promoting this show and supporting us. And I love them guys, and I just want to thank them as well.
That's great. So, Lorraine, how excited are you on your first show?
Oh, my God, I'm really, really, really excited.
Why? Because I'm here?
No, because the commissioner's here.
All right, we'll take that. I got to ask you a question on the statute of limitations later.
Okay.
But right now...
It goes on forever.
Right now. So today we have Yonkers Police Commissioner John Mueller, and also because this is a Latin show...
Mueller.
Mueller.
His name is Mueller.
Okay. So... Because it was my accent. All right. Because cógelo con tequericio. Okay, let me finish. Okay. So anyway, what was I saying? So we have Commissioner John Mueller here, and of course, this is a Latin show. So what I would like to change his name to Juan Mullez, because now, and he has a Yonkers police sergeant with him also. And his name is Danny
Valentin.
Since it's a Latin show, we say Valentin.
Valentin. Okay, there we go. That sounds good. Okay, and we're gonna go out, ask some questions, and go right ahead, Lorraine.
Okay, I first of all, I want to thank Mayor Spano for being one of our biggest supporters for this show today. Today we have with us Commissioner Mueller and Sergeant Danny Valentin. We're gonna be discussing something that I feel is very important. During these times we have the gun issues, we're having crime issues, and we also have a cultural issue whereas folks are saying that police department does not reflect the community. And it's not just in Yonkers, it's in several places all over Westchester County and actually throughout the United States. What I'm proud to say is that our commissioner has made an effort and has been successful in reaching out to the Hispanic community. We have in Yonkers, for example, 68% of the folks there are minority, which I would argue that we're the majority now, and most of them are Latinos. And when you are in trouble or when you need help, when you call a police officer, it's nice, especially when you're Latino, you don't speak the language. It's nice to be able to have an officer that you can relate to, that you can speak the language with, and that can interpret. For example, real quickly, there was a 6-year-old. There was an incident on Odine Hill, and there was a Hispanic police officer that not only showed up and helped this. The gentleman was from El Salvador, but not only did she interpret, but she also went with him to the hospital and interpreted over there. And that's the type of policing that we need in the Latino community. And Commissioner Mueller is in the forefront of that. I've said it since he's taken office that Yonkers PD is a model, for the nation, and I'm very proud to say that. Now, Commissioner, can you tell us a little bit about, and we're going to be talking about recruitment, because right now they are going through a recruitment phase in the Yonkers Police Department from now till when?
I believe the cycle ends July 14th.
Yes,
That's
July
the last
14th,
date.
exactly.
So we really got to make sure you get out before. Normally, there's a rush to the end like everything, but we would encourage everybody to sign up if they want to as soon as possible.
Okay.
And before we go any further, I just want to say that I've known John Mueller for many, many years. And everywhere, and I got to meet him by going to a lot of, as you know, we do a lot of Latin events in the community. And every time I went to a Latin event, there was John Mueller. No matter where there was.
You dance salsa is the question.
No, that's not the question yet.
I learned.
And so, and looking back, when I look back at all the events that John Mueller has gone to, I notice a lot of Latino politicians going there only for photo ops, and then they disappear. They know nothing about what the event is about, but they know there is an event, and they run there for photo op and disappear and forget about the community. So, unlike John Mueller, who is not a Hispanic, he has been in more Hispanic events than some of these politicians. So with that, I'd just like to commend you for being part of the Latin community, because you are a true community leader, because you are there. You know the Hispanic people. You're not there for photo ops. You're not there for your own interests. You're there because you care.
It's a labor of love. And, I really do love, as you know, we're usually the last two guys to leave Dia Noche. Yep. Or Dos Marias, yes. Wherever we have, wherever the fundraisers are, whatever we're doing. So it's very, very easy to, the community is so welcoming and so friendly, and it takes very little time to get to know each other. So now it's like you go in and there's, 100 people there, and you know every single one of them, which is really the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. And now that the COVID is finally. Things are opening up now. We could actually see more of each other and try to live a normal life.
Yeah.
And Sergeant Valentin, question: did you grow up in Yonkers or anywhere?
For most of my life, I did.
Yeah.
I moved up to Yonkers when I was 7 years old.
What was your interaction with police officers growing up? What was your take on them without you ever knowing you were going to be a police officer?
You know what? I never had much interaction, but because of my upbringing, I always knew to be respectful. That was it. The values: just be respectful, do the right thing. You won't ever have an issue. That's how I was brought up in my home.
Similar like me.
Yeah.
Growing up down in Yonkers with a single mother and 11 brothers and sisters, you bring yourself up. And I seen, we grew each other.
Ourselves, yes.
Yeah, we raised ourselves. And my mother said I would end up in jail, and I did. For 23 years, I've been I'm a sergeant at the county jail now, so it's a good thing. So tell us a little more about yourself.
Well, like I said, I moved up here when I was 7 years old. I went through the Yonkers School District, which I'm proud to say that I did. I went to college. I went to John Jay. Then after that, took the police test. I was blessed to get onto the Yonkers Police Department. I did 10 years in the 4th Precinct. Then again, I was blessed. I tried out for the Detective Division. I got it. Could you believe it? They let me in.
Yeah, that's a miracle in its own.
And I took the test and I became sergeant. So I've been in that position for about 2 months now. It's going well. I like it.
Well, that's good. My interaction with the police, I didn't really have any. But one day, I was walking, and the statute of limitation is over, right?
Yeah,
I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just won't use names. No big deal.
Okay,
Yeah, good.
So I was walking on Radford Street, and this police pulls up and says, "Get in the car." And I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because you look like a suspect, someone that's going to come here to see, to identify you. If it's not you, you can go." So I sat in the police car, and I said, "What if those people say it's me? I've never been involved with the law." So I just looked around, opened up the car door, and walked away. And my house was 1 block away on Cliff Street. I got into the house, looked out the window, and the cops are looking all over for me. And they look, and the victims, whoever they were, drove up, and when they said he's in the car, they looked. I was gone. But you know what? What if they would have said, "Yeah, that's him," and I'd done nothing? I was coming from a baseball game, So those type of things I grew up with, but never had any real bad interaction with the police, because I never gave them an opportunity to talk to me or look, I always respected them, and I always knew that I was going to be some type of law enforcement. That's why I always, went my own way. My friends went this way, that way. I was focused on one thing. Now, Commissioner Mueller, what plans in Yonkers do you have for the Latino community with new police officers and this recruitment?
So we've been working very closely with the community. We just had a great outreach with Lorraine the Legend and Brother to Brother in Getty Square, where set up a DJ. It's a great community. It's kind of a co-production between the cops and the community. Do a great job, and we intend to do this. We've been going after as many different segments of communities of color as we possibly can. Because one thing I've learned all along, too, is that different communities, even within the Hispanic communities, respond differently to the police and have different perspectives. So can't just say it's apples and oranges. So
We're not monolithic there.
yeah, so like when you go to the Mexican-American community, which is a very, very vibrant, robust community in Yonkers, as you know, they don't have a great representation in the YPD as much as our Puerto Rican brothers and sisters and our Dominican brothers and sisters. So that's an example of you can't just do one size fits all. So we reach out to those community leaders. We've been having Q&As. We just have 2 new Mexican-American officers get hired, both fantastic. They came along and they spoke to the community about why they thought it was a good idea. The job is easy to sell. I mean, the starting salary is $75,000. And within a year or so, they're probably making easily over $100,000. And so it's just a question of being able to have a conversation with someone, anyone, anywhere, anytime. Like right now, we're selling. It's our job to sell, and that's what we're going to keep on doing throughout the whole recruitment cycle.
So, Commissioner, where can someone pick up an application if they wanted an application?
You can go to the Community Affairs Division. But more importantly, the easiest thing in this age of social media is just go to www.joinypd.com. It has all the information on there of what you need. Joinypd.com. That's all you need. That's the first step. Like we said, you have to sign up before July 14th. I believe the test is, let me just make sure I have this right. The filing closes July 14th, and the exam is Saturday, September 18th. But there's a very important piece of this that I got to stress. People have to study. It's a very competitive test. We had like 2,400 people take it in 2017 when the last test was. If you didn't get a 90 or above, you weren't even called. So it's so important for our police applicants to score as high as they possibly can.
Yes. Now, the call-in number, by the way, folks, it's 914-636-0110. That's 914-636-0110 if you like to call and have the conversation with us. Now, Commissioner, here's a question I have for you because it's been discussed with me a couple of times. There is a fee to take the test.
There is.
The fee is how much?
$100.
Okay. Now, we have, the Hispanic community, we are like below the poverty level in Yonkers. And you have single moms who have kids that are like 23 that still live in the home. And everyone is struggling, to pay the rent, utilities, and now cell phone and on and on and on. And then you also have those young fathers who are also struggling to feed their families. And they have to choose between paying $100 for the test and $100 for diapers or $100 for food, gas to get to work. How do we help those folks? What can we say to encourage them? I know it's an investment, but sometimes people just don't have that investment.
Well, one of the things that the Yonkers PBA, under the leadership of Keith Olson, has done is he's almost created a scholarship program. Now, the PBA doesn't have the capacity to pay for everyone for the $100, yes. But anybody who wants to sponsor an applicant, like I did it, all you have to do is bring a check into the Yonkers PBA, and you can sponsor someone who may not be able to afford it. I know that a lot of the police officers have stepped up. Probably he's gotten 40 or 50 officers who've stepped up and saying, look, I'll sponsor a new applicant. But that's not going to cover everything. So the more people we get that are willing to help, family, friends, everything else, just to get them to that test that day is helpful.
Okay, folks, you heard the commissioner. If you would like to be a sponsor, if you would like to sponsor someone to take the test for the YPD test, now it's men and women as well, please go to the PAL and speak to them over there and make your donation. $100, $200. Hey, listen, you can also sponsor 5. It's limitless, but one is good. So please consider that and think about it. And the PAL is located on North Broadway in Yonkers.
127 North Broadway. Yeah.
127. Okay, thank you.
Sargento Valentin.
Yes, sir.
I would like to, if you had a message to give to the Latino community in Spanish right now, what would it be? And say it in Spanish, talk to them now, as far as trust is concerned between officers and the community.
Bueno, tú dices para coger el examen o para...
De todo.
Para las dos cosas.
Ok. Bueno, primero hablando de coger el examen, ¿no?
Yes, sí.
Yo a ustedes le digo, abre la mente. Es una buena oportunidad de trabajo. Hay mucha gente, yo tengo amigos que yo le he mandado la aplicación y no, eso no es para mí. Como tú sabes, tú nunca lo has hecho. Me ha dado a mí una oportunidad grandísima. Mira, estoy aquí ahora hablando con ustedes. Si no estuviera en esta posición, no estuviera aquí ahora.
No estuviera hablando.
También, tú sabes, pago los biles para mí, para mi familia. Para mí eso, por un ejemplo, los $100, búscalo. De una manera legal, ¿no? Búscalo, porque me ha dado a mí, tú no vas a ser rico, tú no vas a ser el Hector la voz, pero te vas a dar la oportunidad de viajar con tu familia, de cuidarlo, de poner comida en la mesa.
Solo siempre es un sacrificio.
Es un sacrificio buen hecho. Y como él dijo, como el comisionado dijo, tiene que estudiar. Cogiendo el examen nada más, hay mucha gente que quiere este trabajo y tiene que cogerlo serio. No es nada más aplicar, no, estudia. Yo no sé si él lo va a mencionar ahorita, pero ellos están dispuestos a pagar una compañía para que ayuden a los hispanos y a todos a estudiar. Es una oportunidad grandísima. Para mí me ha cambiado la vida. Para mí.
Y para mí también.
Es bueno.
And one thing, Lorraine, I wanted to make sure I point out, like in addition to, these opportunities to sponsor someone, there is also, and it's in the announcement, there is a provision here that for families in need, they can get a waiver for the application. So that's the other
really?
thing. Yes, and it's in the joinypd.com. You know how great Dean is. Dean Politopoulos.
Yes.
He's the best, and he just he made sure.
He's my secret
and
crush.
he just says, step one, read the announcement. So,
Thank you, sir.
thank you, Dean. So it is in the joinypd.com. So there's a waiver for families in need. So that's also an opportunity there,
That's
right where the
fantastic.
where the application is. So
I mean, you can't like what. I'm really proud to hear that. You know, like you can't get any better than YPD.
The YPD is doing their part, but
Yeah, now we need the community to do theirs.
Correct.
That's what-
Okay, well, listen, we have a caller, a legend over here in Westchester. He was from Westchester. We have the Honorable, the Chief of Police in Nevada, Luis Molina, on the line. Go ahead, Luis.
How are you? Good afternoon to all.
Hey, Lou.
Or should I say good evening? I'm sorry, it's afternoon here in Las Vegas.
what's up, Lou?
Hey, Commissioner, how are you?
Good to see you, brother. Good to talk.
Good to hear you, too. I just wanted to wish you all a congratulations. I heard about the new radio show, so I wanted to just send my blessings from Las Vegas and wish you all well.
We miss
in this new
you.
endeavor.
Yeah, just for the listeners, Lou was a deputy commissioner at the Westchester County Department of Corrections. He was also a New York City police officer and also a United States Marine. You can't find a better guy than Lou. And like I always say, after I retire from the YPD, he'll end up being my boss somewhere. So make sure you get a big job, Lou.
Oh, thanks, Commissioner.
big
I
now.
appreciate it. It was great seeing you when I first came out here.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
when I first came out here, it was always great to see someone from back home.
Yes, sir.
That's great, Lou. It's nice hearing your voice again. It's like it's like you're standing here next to us right now. You're sounding so clearer than me. We made history today. We had two commissioners. We had Commissioner Mueller, and we also had Deputy Commissioner. That's the first call-in the history of this show of Latin Rain. So we're gonna get you a plaque.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, my parents always said I was destined for big things, so the day finally came when I called into your show.
That's good. Great.
So no, I just called to wish you guys well. Congratulations, and when I'm back home visiting, I'd love to see you all again. So God bless, and good luck with the show.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Lou.
don't forget about
Okay,
Somos
have a
in
good
November.
night.
Don't
Goodbye,
forget about
Commissioner.
Somos
Nice
in
talking
November,
to
Lou.
you. All right, be safe, everyone.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
That was Luis Molina, a good friend of mine, good friend of everybody in here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing great things over there in Nevada,
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
I don't know him. I might have to travel out to Nevada to meet him.
Hopefully he'll be at Somos in November.
All right.
Now, Commissioner, I have a question for you. The statistics, the number of Hispanic police officers that we have in the city of Yonkers. I know I was talking to you earlier, and we were talking about 2017 to the present. Can you give us what those numbers are? Can you break down the percentage and what those percentage equal in numbers as
Yeah.
far as Latino officers?
For Latino officers, our department is about 15% Latino, which is about 100 officers. Getting bigger every class. In fact, I think even if we add the new class, there's probably, Hispanics are well represented. So that's about 100 for the YPD. The entire full force of the YPD is 615
Okay,
officers.
1/6. Okay, that's not really. Do you know what? Compared to how it was back in the days, that's really good.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's getting bigger and bigger. And I will say that in 2017, 2,400 people took the exam, and 43% were listed themselves as Hispanic. They reported as Hispanic. And that outpaced every other group. So,
Wow.
and then I can give the good news this year for the recruitment drive we're doing for the test in September. Of the 800 applicants, 55% are Hispanic that are listing as Hispanic on their applications.
Wow.
And I'd like to give a message to all those people that want to take the test or see others and blame other people, like, how come He became a cop, and I'm on the list. They didn't call me.
AJ.
Yeah, so basically, you need to study. You need to be in it to be considered, because you're gonna get if you get a 75 or an 80, don't complain that someone else made it and you didn't, because everything goes out how much you really want the job and how much you want to study for it. So no hagan complain, estudie, and you gotta be in it to win it. And we have AJ.
AJ Woodson from Black Westchester on the line.
Hey, I just called to congratulate y'all on your great new show. I'm listening while I'm having another meeting at the same time, so I'm listening. Great show. I'm expecting great things from y'all. I'm promoting the heck out of it. I'm really happy for y'all.
We gave you a shout out in the beginning, AJ. Thank you.
I heard it. And I'm in a meeting with Brother John. I told him he got 2 shout outs from you and from the commissioner.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, AJ.
Well, listen.
No doubt. Continue luck, and I'm tuned in.
Thank you, AJ.
You know, one thing I wanted to say too about the exam. This is an exam that anybody can score really, really well on. It's just a question of putting in the time. I was not a good test taker. It took me a long time. Maybe it would take someone half the time it took me. If you are committed and you're willing to put the time in, we're in June. The test isn't until September. Work your butt off between then and now, and you're going to do absolutely fine.
You got that from the commissioner himself and from Sergeant Valentin. Listen, our time is up. Thank you very much for joining our first ever Latin Rain with my alleged sister Lorraine, the legend, and Hector Silabo. Lorraine?
Okay, mi gente. Thank you for tuning in. Please tune in next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We'll be here. This is going to be an exciting time for us. We appreciate all your support. God bless you, mi gente.
JoinYPD.com.